And I have been talking about anxiety now for weeks, probably months, and I'm going to continue talking about anxiety just because of the state of our current climate, our culture, our communities, and everything that is affected by everything that goes on in our lives personally, but as well as our communities, our nation. So I'm watching many people become so stuck in their mindset that it has become like an invisible prison, like a prison without walls. And so it's not that you are actually stuck, but you are because you believe you are. So many of you are anxious because of your mindset, what you believe or don't believe about you or the situation or anything that's going on, what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, things that are keeping you stuck. And what I want to say to you is that you're actually not stuck if you can and will change your mindset. Now, the can part is getting an understanding, becoming aware that you have trapped yourself using your own mind. The will part is, are you willing to do something different, learn something different, start saying something different, start thinking something different that will allow you to move? And here's an example of what I am talking about because it happened in my own life. I didn't notice it for a very long time, but when I did, I was able to shift. So growing up, there were many things that were fairly easy for me to do. So, somewhere along the line, I got into my head that only things that were easy or came naturally for me were things that were actually for me. I began to think that if it was too hard, if I had to put any effort into it, then it must not be for me. Now, nobody told me that. Somewhere along the lines, I developed that mindset simply because lots of things came easily for me. So I just started to think that everything should be easy when that was not the truth. So what I was doing was building my own prison. I was putting myself in the prison that said, you can only do easy things. Anything that is hard for you, you cannot do, which is a weird thing to think, but that's the way I thought. So there were lots of opportunities that I had that when I went for it and tried it, it was difficult. I had to put effort into it. I had to study. I had to think about it. I had to do all of these things. And so for me, I began to tell myself, this isn't for you because this is too hard. This must be for somebody else because I thought that certain things came easy to certain people. So if that thing didn't come easy to me, it must come easy for someone else. Therefore, that thing that I'm wanting to do or trying to do must only be for someone else. No one told me this. This is something that I started formulating in my own mind. But as I got older and older and realized that the things that I wanted for my life were going to take effort, were going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought they might be. So I literally had to shift my mindset into saying things that are difficult or things that don't necessarily come easy for me. It's not that it isn't for me, it's just that I need to use my intellect and everything that God has already given me to work at this thing. God didn't promise me that nothing would take any effort. He never said that. I created that somewhere in my own mind. And I think that a lot of people that I'm seeing, not only the people, the clients that I work with, but also just people around me. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be acquaintances, just people that I come into contact with. Somehow we have this belief system that we're stuck, we can't get out of this situation. We're not able to do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm not whatever enough. Now, for some of you, people have actually said those things to you. No one actually said those things to me. I just created it somewhere on my own. It was probably, if you're a follower of Christ like I am, it was probably an attack from the enemy that was making me think those things, because God didn't say it to me. My parents didn't say it to me. Nobody that I was aware of was saying it to me. So it was likely just an assault, an attack from the enemy for me. But there are some of you who are struggling because people did say it to you. It was a parent, it was a teacher, it was a whoever. They did tell you you weren't smart enough, you weren't pretty enough, you weren't whatever enough. But I want to tell you that you have to now believe that you are enough. Certainly, you may have to get some education, you may have to do some training, you may have to do some research, whatever it is that you need to do. But I want you to understand that you are not stuck. You need a mindset shift. So if you want to do something, if there is something that you want to do, and you've been trying and trying and trying to figure out how to do it, or you've given up on doing it because you think it's too hard, I want you to give yourself another chance. Give yourself another opportunity to say, okay, now I have a different mindset. Just because it's difficult, or just because someone said I didn't have what it takes to do it, I need to believe that I do, that I can. So let me find out, what do I need? Do I need more education? Do I need some kind of class? Do I need a mentor? Do I need a coach? What is it that I need to help push me out of this place of being stuck? Because remember, you are likely facing anxiety on some level because you think that you're stuck. You think that there's no opportunity. You think that there's no way out. And if you really believe that, it is it is anxiety inducing to feel like you're trapped. That would cause anybody anxiety and fear. But what I want you to understand is that you're not trapped. Your mind has been set in this particular direction, and you need a mindset shift. You need to allow your mind to open up to the possibilities and the opportunities that are actually in front of you, but that you cannot see because you are in an invisible prison, at least in your mind, because you're not actually in prison. There are no walls. There's nothing keeping you where you are except for your mindset. So here's what you have to do. Think about that thing that you want, or think about those things that people told you you couldn't or shouldn't have. Then ask yourself, is it something that I really want to do? Do I really want to tackle this? Remove their belief system from yours. Start to take on the concept, that the idea that since I have this new mindset, then let me just try it again. Since my mind is shifting, I am deciding to believe that I can do this, that I do have the ability, I do have the capacity. I may need more education, I may need a mentor, I may need a coach, I may need some classes, but I can and I will try this again. Because listen, anxiety is the fear of the unknown, and it can also be the fear of the future. It's just fear exponentially. So when you have this fear, you won't try again, because in your mind, you'll get hurt or you'll be disappointed. We can help you manage your emotions around being disappointed. If you cannot handle disappointment, you will remain stuck. Disappointment is kind of a part of life. Everything is not going to go your way all the time. And remember, I had gotten myself stuck in that place where I thought things were too hard, and I didn't want to face disappointment or the belief that I thought I was incapable of doing something, when really I just needed to shift to understanding just I can do hard things. I need to put in the effort. If I say I really want this, I have the intellect, I have the physical ability, I have all the things that God says I have everything I need. So I just need to put in the effort. I just need to do the things that other people are doing that are getting it done. It's not just because it's coming easily to them like I thought. They were putting in effort and I wasn't. So, whatever it is that you need to shift your mind to, to get you out of that stuck place, I want you to do it. Now think about this. If you need a coach, if you need a class, if you need a mentor, if you need prayer, if you need some kind of breakthrough or deliverance, get whatever you need. Find the people that you need. Do not settle for being stuck in the place that you're in when you don't have to be. And for those of you who are followers of Christ, remember, Jesus has done everything that you needed him to do on the cross. Now you need to take your action. Faith without works is what? Dead, right? So you can have the faith. You can know that God says that you can do all things through him. That's faith because you know he said it. Now you have to figure out what the work is. You don't just go off and randomly do work and just spinning your wheels and toiling. That's not the work. The work is finding out, it's laser focused, finding out what it is you need to do to move you out of the place that you're in and into the place that you want to be. That's the work. Okay? So find whatever you need. You do not have to settle for stuck, and you do not have to settle for being anxious about something that you don't need to be anxious about. You are no longer in the invisible prison. You are going to break yourself out of it. And this is you participating in your own rescue because no one really knows what you're thinking unless you tell them. So when I work with my clients, I need them to tell me what their struggle is so that we can figure out a strategy to break them through. So if you need to go to therapy, if you need to hire a coach, whatever it is that you need to do, whoever you need to help you, get the help that you need. You are not stuck from this point on. Now that you've heard this information, you are not stuck unless you want to be, unless you decide to be. And that's deciding not to move, not to do anything, not to shift your mindset. You have the ability, you have the capacity. Now it's time to go to work. All right. So I hope this blesses you. If this is for somebody else, pass this information along. I will be back soon with more. But until then, be proactive about your mental health. Be well and God bless.